two quarterbacks starting this week. As a veteran, how important is it that you kind of keep him composed and get him through a game like Saturday?
Yeah, no doubt. It just comes down to, talking with him during the week, making sure that, we're doing everything on our part, preparation-wise, to help him out. And then it's really just, every man on the field, whether it be, offense, defense, or special teams, just doing their most to just make him comfortable. Just doing your job a little bit better for him, just to have him settle in better in the game.
What's your impression of UCLA's defense and just the pass rush that they present?
Yeah, they're a solid defense, tough, play hard. They've kind of been rallying under their interim head coach, but, it's a good challenge on the road like that, playing in the Rose Bowl. Couldn't think of a better opportunity ahead of us in this one.
Henry, what kind of composure did you see? What did TJ bring to the field in what was, I think anybody would say a tough spot to come in the middle of a game like that?
Yeah, no doubt. He showed he's a competitor. He didn't back down. He got his number called and he was ready. And so it's just, again goes into the, the type of program that, us and Coach Will are trying to build here where, no matter what spot you may be in, just preparing all week like you are the starter, like you are going to go out there and play 60 snaps so that, if you have to, you're ready.
I know Emmett takes the carries, but how much pride do you as a lineman take in him having 1,000 yards already?
Yeah, a lot. There's always room for more. On one hand, he's at 1,000, but, on the other hand, he could be at 1,100 by now. So we're always just looking for improvement.
Is there, a sense of, do you appreciate how the game plan is tilted toward the run here in the last 2 or 3 weeks? Have you enjoyed that identity?
Yeah, definitely have. I think our room's, really gotten behind that. And, Emmett's great, too. He's really good at, communicating with us and, his needs for what we need to do to help him and vice versa. And so he's really, open and responsive to, hey, can you do this a little bit better? Can you do that? He's great with all that.
TJ's also a runner. How much could that help maybe loosen a few things up with the way teams defend you now that you could have a quarterback and a running back that are options back there?
Yeah, no doubt. He's an athlete for sure. He showed it on Saturday. So, I'm sure they're, back home game planning for it right now. But, just always having that, other option, whether it be a design run or a scramble or, whatever it may be. The threat of his legs is always there.
What kind of toughness have you seen from some guys in your room? Appreciate trying to come back this week, Corcoran, through what he's battled through to keep going at it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of great role models in that room like Turner. We're like Teddy Nebraska, two guys that have, just been through it injuries-wise and, are still out there battling every single day, just for love of the game and love of their teammates. If it wasn't for that, they probably would have hung it up a while ago. But, Turner's great to have in there because once you know what he's been through and you see how hard he plays, he's a great role model to have in that room.
How have you seen Grant Bricks and Tom Mua develop? Because Coach Will said they might have a chance this week if somebody goes down or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both, again, two guys that have really come a long way and, really have taken that next step this year, especially preparation-wise. And, kind of the same thing I was saying about TJ. Those are two guys that are going to prepare all week like they're going to go out and play 60 snaps so that if they, if their number gets called in the game, they're ready.
You guys are playing two opponents now with interim head coaches. You've been on the other side of that. What can you does that give you some insight maybe into what their motivation is for some of those teams that you'll be facing the next couple weeks? Yeah,
these cases are a little weird because UCLA, they're a great example of things going well during interim head coach, which we might not have been on that side of the stick when I was in that situation. And so, it really just comes down to watching the tape, seeing what they do, seeing how hard they play, seeing, just what they try to attack us with and just finding ways to battle back against that. I wouldn't read too much into the interim head coach thing because, those guys are out there playing hard and they're winning. So, at the end of the day, we got to be ready for that.
If you can kind of go back to the conversation about Corcoran and just being around him for all the years that you've had and watching his path this season, what kind of feelings does that bring about from you, and like what specifically have you seen from him that's impressed you this year?
Yeah, just his his ability to keep showing up. I mean, at this point in the season, nobody's bodies feel good, but he's still out there every day. Had that terrible hamstring injury last year. Just fighting back from that this whole offseason, just watch the guy fight and battle every single day to get back. Ended up coming back from the hamstring early. Just doing everything he possibly can to get ready to go on Saturday. Thanks, guys.